You will notice that as your world loads, there are different tips and tricks that come up. Okay, and so you'll be able to see all these different things. You will not be able to remember them all, but just take a glance and start looking at them. Now, when you get into world, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see all of your controls on that left-hand side. That's why we had that controls on. Okay, you'll also notice your position, right? I want you to remember X, Y, and Z axes. Okay, there are all three, X, Y, and Z in this environment. So again, we are definitely three-dimensional in here. You also see what we call your hand on the bottom right. All right, and do you see the little crosshair? Do you see the crosshair on your screen? Okay. And you'll notice forward, back,
it doesn't show the value, but it's just basically bringing up the world.
W, S, A, and D on your keyboard. So let's locate those.
So there you are.
Also notice your position number changes. It's that X axis. Okay? If you move to the left,
the crosshair is where you're going to be placing your box.
It's A,
you can catch them. We'll get to that.
And
I think
D
probably tomorrow.
To the right. Okay, that's your Z. What is your Y axis? That middle number, that's your altitude from ground up. Okay? Now, if you hit the space bar one time, what's going to happen? We're going to jump. If we hit the space bar twice, and now we're flying. Now, I will tell you, when I first started playing, I learned how to fly and I couldn't get down. Okay? We didn't have the coordinates on the page. And so when you start flying, there are a couple of ways that you can get down again. One is you can hit your space bar again and you will drop suddenly to the ground. Or if you want to gradually come down, you use your shift key. Okay? And again, all of these things are on your screen. Okay? So I want you just to take your hands on your keyboard, keep them off your mouse for a little bit. Practice going forwards, backwards, left, and right. Always keeping an eye on that crosshair in the middle of your screen.
Tell them hello.
And some of you may start to see animals come in your screen. Don't worry, the animals will not hurt you. Okay?
Peaceful mode, you can't hurt them. They won't hurt you. Life is wonderful.
Okay? The animals are mobs and they are just free roaming within this environment.
Yeah.
You may also end up seeing a gentleman come into the world with 2 llamas. It's okay. He's not going to hurt you either. He is peaceful. Everything is peaceful and calm in here. Okay? How is that moving? You getting it? Forward, backward, left, and right? Okay, now, take your hand off of your keyboard. So typically that's our left hand, right? Now on our right hand, we're going to use our mouse. And I want you to watch, deactivate from your device, and take a look up at the screens. I'm going to show you what happens with your mouse. Okay? It is best practice when you're starting out to use an external mouse just because of this piece. You can use a touchpad. That is perfectly fine if that is what you would prefer to do. But when I move my mouse forward, I want you to see what happens with my crosshair. I move it forward, I start to look at the sky. And yes, even the sun in Minecraft is a square because everything in Minecraft is a square. Okay? So I move my mouse forward, I start to look up. Okay? I pull my mouse towards me and I look down at the ground. Now, can you see a little black line around that square where that crosshair is focused on? Okay? This is where we're going to start working with our spatial awareness in this environment. And I will tell you, if you have no spatial skills, you will learn them very quickly in here. Okay? Because it has everything to do with what you are interacting with. How close you are, how far away you are is going to determine what you are capable of doing. Okay? So that crosshair is always going to be your key factor to focus on. Now, when I bring my mouse forward again, I'm even with that horizon. If I move my mouse to the right, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pan around. Okay? Oh, look, there's a horse. There's a chicken. There's a pig off in the distance. Okay? And so if I go to the left, I'm going to pan to the left. Make sense? So go ahead and take your right hand and do that with your mouse. Move it forward, pull it back. Okay? Make sure you take a look at, when you pull it back and you're looking at the ground, how you can see, and some of you have already done some mining, which is good. That's going to happen. All right, perfect. Now, it's going to get a little crazy. Now we're going to combine our hands. Okay, so we've got our mouse hand, which is going to do up and down and horizontal and around, and then we've got our keyboard strokes. So now if you deactivate and watch just for a second, this is what this is going to look like. I'm going to try and chase a chicken. Okay, so I move my mouse and I start moving forward. Okay, and now I'm going to follow that chicken and I'm going to move on to my horses. And you see how you can move with your mouse and your keystrokes. Okay, you could actually do an obstacle course around animals. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is not going to be easy the first time you do it. It's going to be very difficult. And so a couple of things I want you to be aware of. One, you will fail. Plain and simple, you will fail. Yes, that's exactly the mindset I love. Yes, you will fail, and that's okay. This is a safe environment to fail. Also, you will struggle, and you might feel a little frustrated, but that's okay. It's that productive struggle that we're looking for, and that's exactly what your students will feel as well. Okay? All right. So go ahead, take your mouse, take your hands, and let's do a little obstacle course around your animals and see how that goes.
And if you didn't already get a chance to glance down, take a look at the black square that shows up.
Yes.
When we're going to start placing blocks, that's going to be important.
Okay, so now we know a little bit of how to move, how to look, and how to get around. Okay, we can chase animals. Now we're going to get you to your actual objective. Okay, and in order to do that, we have to get some inventory into your hotbar. So a couple of terms, inventory and hotbar. Hotbar are those 9 squares that you see at the bottom of your screen. All right? So that is where your inventory is held. Inventory in this environment, creative and peaceful, is unlimited. So you have everything that you could possibly want. So with inventory, we're going to hit the letter E on our keyboard, E for everything, right? And you're going to see this fabulous screen. Now, what you may think you will be able to find in Minecraft, you might not be able to. I'm going to tell you that first, okay? But you are also able to search for things in Minecraft's inventory. And so the first thing that we're going to search for is grass. So I want you to type the word and put your cursor up in that little search bar there and type grass. And you will see there are 4 different types of grass. The one that I would like you guys to put into your inventory right away is this block of grass. So left click one time, let go, pull your mouse down, and left click into your hotbar.
There you go.
You will initially want to click and drag. You will learn very quickly that doesn't work so well in the environment. Okay, so click, let go, move your mouse, click. Okay? All right. Does everybody have 64 in there? Now it says 64, but you have unlimited, so don't worry about that number. Okay? Our inventory comes in numbers of 64. Now, what I would also like you to do is to just do a search, and you can just visually scroll. Okay, I am a color person, and you will see there's all sorts of colors in here. But you will notice there's concrete, powder, there's actual concrete, and there's terracotta, there's all sorts of things. So I'm going to grab some purple concrete. Okay, and some yellow concrete, and I'm just going to put those 2 blocks into my inventory. So just find a block or 2 and bring it down to your inventory. Remember, left click once, pull down, click left once into your inventory hotbar. Okay? We're going to take 30 seconds to do this because I know I could give you guys 2 hours and you'd still be in there. To the top right and click on this X to close our inventory. Now you should see your inventory in your hotbar. You will also see whatever you have in that first square is now in your hand that you saw that was white down in the bottom right. Okay? Now, here's where you're going to fail first. Okay? There is no undo button in Minecraft.
So
if you line or break something,
that little rolly bar
you broke
would roll
it.
you across
It's
that, and that's
done.
where see
You
what's in your
can't
hands.
click the undo button and call it good. What you will find is one of the first things you will do as we start to place our first blocks, if you notice on the bottom right-hand menu, always look at the bottom right menu because whatever you are interacting with, it's going to tell you what you can and cannot do. So right now, I have that block of grass in my hand, correct? And so that's the piece of inventory that I'm using. And on the right, it says if I right-click, I will place. If I left-click my mouse, I will mine. Now, you will want to place, but inevitably what may happen is you might left-click and go, oh, I just broke it. I didn't mean to break it. I wanted to place it. So what we have done is we've just given you your undo button by putting that block of grass in your inventory. And now you can simply right-click to place it and fill the hole that you created. Okay? Now, to scroll through your inventory boxes, there are a couple of different ways that you can do that. The keys 1 through 9 on your keyboard. Those will take you through each of those spaces in your hotbar. If you have a mouse that has the rolly ball, you can also click that rolly ball and it will go through 1 through 9 in your hotbar. Okay, so practice that. Select one of your other blocks. Okay? And then you can place.
So you would want to either hit the one on your board or use this rolly ball to roll across.
Okay.
And so if you actually mine or dug down,
Wasn't
then
that easy?
in this role, having the block of grass helps you to kind of
Now,
do it
here's
because
your
there's not really an
objective.
undo button.
Right.
Okay? You are going to build a 4-walled structure. Maybe it's your house, your dream house. Maybe it's your office. Maybe it's, I don't care what it is. It can be anything, but a 4-walled structure. Okay? Now, keep in mind that when you are moving, you can place blocks a certain distance away as long as you can see that square, right? You're going to have to use those moving skills. So I'm going to have to move and place. If I want to place on top, I can do that. Now, if I want to place a third layer, how do I get up there? I'm going to have to fly. If I jump, I'm just going to go up and come right back down. So I need to fly. So if I double tap my space bar, now you notice when that crosshair is on that square, I can place another block on top of it. Okay? So go ahead. We're going to give you some time. Place your first blocks and build a 4-walled structure. There you go.
That's an interesting one. You're going to want to invert your y-axis.
the checkerboard.
Not that.
Creative and peaceful. There you got a 4-walled structure.
Just so go. So quick.
Is important. So you may have to fly up a little bit and then look down on it. Use some critical thinking skills here and think about multiple ways. So remember that spatial learning she talked about? Think about some other ways you might approach that.
So here's a primary button, and this one we're going to do a secondary button.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Now
Yeah,
you should
so find something else that might be
click on the arrow.
called something else. Like
Which I couldn't do because my students spelled for me.
no, they did. That was very kind of them.
That's why I'm like, I guess they finally.
Yeah, so right now to start with the walls, I like your color coordination, and then she'll probably give you some other hints before moving on.
Okay, let me have you deactivate for just 1 second. Okay, thank you. Good, good. Hands are coming up. That's awesome. I want to show you, remember when I said this world was flat and it was 4 layers thick? Okay, the reason that I wanted to show you that or tell you that is because this is what potentially could happen, is if I mine a certain area, and I'm flying, so I got to come back down to earth, okay? And I keep digging here, and I go 4 layers thick. Do you see this gray area? If I break that, you now see what we would think is blue sky, but that's showing you that this world is 4 layers thick. And so if you break in the same spot 4 spaces, 4 squares, and you fall through, you will fall into what we call the unknown abyss. Okay? Now, does that mean, you are not functional? No, that just means we have to make you fly back up where you fell through to get you back on your land. Okay? So, word to the wise, be very careful, which we are very close, to not dig yourself a 4-layer hole that you could fall into. Okay? If you do that and you need help to place that block to fill it, remember we've got our block of grass. So we can come back in here and I can choose my block of grass and I can just place it right here so that I don't have to worry about having to fall through. Okay?
Does
that make
I keep seeing
sense?
switch things in your hand.
Awesome. Okay.
Not be bobbing.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Now you put it on the side, so you
Oh, it was on
have to
our
walk
keyboard.
around.
I'm sorry.
How you want it to be.
I
because
love the
it's going
creativity
to
I'm
face
seeing.
you.
Go in
Perfect.
and change it to secondary for my mouse because it
Gotcha.
only
Perfect.
Yep.
Yes.
There you go.
There we go.
Awesome.
As soon as I told her she's on a Mac, I'm like, oh, yeah, she is. Okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
absolutely.
And your door should fall down.
That's going to start that productive struggle thinking process.
Okay.
Okay? Always drag as many things into your inventory as you want, and then when you're done with them, take them from your inventory and just drop them back. And it doesn't, you just click and
And
drag
now you can
whatever
destroy the
don't
block
want
underneath
down
and it
here,
should
back
fall.
up here, and it'll drop it where it's supposed to go. Oh, look at you. Awesome. Nice work. Thank you. Now you need a roof.
No, I don't know.
That's the challenge. To dry that water up and see if that'll do that. You can just try and place that grass block and see what happens. Okay, yep, no, that's not going to work. So go ahead and mine that wider. That section of fence is a little bit wider than this. Yep, that's your water source. So if you're creating a pool or you're creating a lake,
I don't know what kind of
yeah.
bucket that was.
And water will react exactly the same way as it does on Earth. So if you don't have any boundaries, it's just going to flow.
So because everything works in blocks in Minecraft, you do have a block space right here. So if you want to put the pink, yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, let me pull you back here. So let me have you deactivate. I've seen some really good structures for people that, you know what, I want to see what you built. I haven't seen where we're at yet. My fist, I got to see where my fist is. Look at you, that's awesome. You have 4, you even have a door. Fantastic, nice work. Thank you. Awesome, okay. So after placing your first blocks, are we feeling a little more comfortable in world? Moving around, learning those controls, placing. How many of you broke something that you meant to place? Yes, that first set of failure. How did it make you feel? Did anybody get frustrated? Frustrated? Okay, that's normal. We have to step back and think about what we're doing, and we're teaching our brain to do what we would naturally think is the opposite. We are now going to move into our next area. So what are we going to do with this world? We've done all of this work. I don't want you guys to lose it.
Yeah, we want to save it.
Yes, we got to save it. So we're going to hit the escape key, okay, on our keyboard. That's going to take us to this area. If you ever needed to go back to your settings, your game settings, this is how you would get there. You hit the escape key and you're able to click on settings. What we're going to do is we're going to save and exit. Okay? Now, when we click save and exit, it's going to say, are you sure you want to save and leave the game? Yes, you do. So we click save and exit again. Now, here's our first lesson in how Minecraft worlds are saved. These are saved to the device that you are on. Okay? It is not tied to your account. So if I come onto your computer, Marguerite, and I log in with my credentials, I'm going to see your worlds there. Okay? So when we talk about management, that's where we're going to talk about, okay, how do we manage if I only have a cart of 12 devices and I have 12 students my first class period in high school, and then second period they come in and they're on that same device, they're going to see those worlds. We'll talk about management and how we actually work with that. Okay? But know that every world is saved automatically to your device. Okay? So now if you click on View My Worlds, go ahead and do this. You should see Placing Your First Blocks version 1. Do we see it? Yeah. Woohoo! Okay, you can always go back to it. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some philosophy, and I want to do a little bit more reflection first before we jump into that. So, frustrations. We heard we had some frustrations. What were they? Don't be shy. Destroying, moving around. Now, you seem pretty okay